Okay, hopefully this is going right. I just wanted to hop on here real quick. This is a very impromptu live, and I wanted to discuss things sticking on my head, the disease of not-enoughism and how that is applicable right now to why I haven't even been online for a while as far as going on and making videos. I put that aside for a while because of this disease that seems to just plague so many people at such an intense level. And I think so many of us I call it the disease of not enoughism. I coined that term about a year ago and maybe a little longer. But it basically is just always feeling like something is not enough about you or about what you're doing, about who you are. It's a disease in humanity that humanity has that I've seen in myself. And it is it's viral, it's very contagious, it's very extremely hard to find a full remedy to completely eradicate it out of your life. And I am so tired of dealing with it, really. I really would love to see a completely different world around where this disease is not around, and this disease of not enoughism. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about never feeling like you're enough. You don't have enough makeup on. You're not pretty enough. You're not skinny enough. You're not fat enough. You're not quiet enough. You're not noisy enough. Your home isn't enough. You don't live in the right neighborhood. You don't go to the right school. You don't have the right credentials. You don't smile enough. You smile too much. You're too this. You're too that. You're not enough of this. You're not enough of that. It's the disease of not enoughism. And the symptoms are that you always have an underlying feeling of, I got to do more. I got to be more. And it's a slave mentality. It's slave driving. It's like feeling like you have this invisible energetic whip on your back constantly. And you could have a good day where you've done a lot, but you go to bed at night and you start thinking about all the things that are still wrong about you and your life, and what you still need to do and what isn't enough in you and in the world and in the people around you, in your relationship, in whatever it is, you know. And so for me to be able to come on here and impromptu live and just speak on something freely, this is me literally trying to kill off this disease of not enoughism and trying to say, hey, I'm going to get on there and I'm just going to be who I am, and I'm just going to say what's on my mind. And it's not going to be, oh, I got these 5 steps and these 3 steps and this beautiful title. And I don't know if anybody will ever watch it. But you know, I hope somebody does, of course, you know, but I don't know that they will. And I'm not going to shut up because I'm worried about it's not enough. It's not enough. I'm not enough. I'm too old. I'm too this. I'm not enough of that. I'm not enough of this. You know, I don't know about the rest of you, but do you feel this? Do you feel this? I feel this constantly in my life. And I work, believe me, I work on my energy, oh, gosh, as much as the next person, I work on my energy nonstop because I had very, very difficult beginnings. Like so many others, very traumatic and difficult beginnings. I didn't have the love and the support and the nurturing environment that a child needs. And because of that, I ended up being a very insecure person and had so many emotional and mental issues that I've had to overcome in life. And this disease of not enoughism is probably the most persistent of them all. And for me, the overcoming of it is saying, like, literally just not giving a fuck anymore. And literally just saying, I don't care if I'm not enough. I don't care if it's not enough. But it has its roots. And the reason why I believe that it is such a hard thing to uproot is because its roots are entrenched and entangled down deep, 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 deep down in survival. So it goes right down to the core of, am I going to survive? And not wanting to experience intense amounts of trauma and pain that we see, that we're going, oh my God, I don't want to have to go through something like that. I don't want to have to be one of those people that are out living in a tent, or I don't want to have to be one of those people that just had everything taken away from them, or, just all this stuff you see, and this survival mode kicks in. And so you think, okay, whatever I have to do, I'm going to do. I'm going to get on top of it. I'm going to have a good income. I'm going to make something of myself. So you start looking, well, how is people doing that? What's the road to this, to make something of myself, to be something? And that is just a plethora of, it's like a circus. It's like a freaking circus out there. Jump through these loops, and you keep jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping through loops. And is it good enough? Is it good enough? Am I getting results? And then you have all these people touting, oh, I have 7 figures, 6 figures. I've made it. I've done it. And follow me and do what I do. Here's my loops. Start jumping through. Let me show you the loops to jump through. And then you jump through their loops and you think, okay, I want to get there. I want to get there. And it reminds me so much of what I read and learned about in history of the gold rush. Right? So there were so many people that uprooted their lives because people say, there's gold here. I struck it rich. I struck it rich. So we'd have 1, 2, 3 people that struck it rich. And then you had a mass migration of people that would go to that area and do all the things and leave everything they have and uproot their lives so they could go strike it rich. And they would die, literally die in poverty, trying to strike it rich, literally die in poverty. I mean, it was just horrible. Or some of them would get rich for a little while and then they'd lose it all. Or somebody would kill them for it or whatever. And it's just like this mass, everybody jumping in the hoops that somebody else is jumping in. So I can have all that they have. So I can have that too. So I can be there too. So I can be important too. So that I am safe. So I can finally feel safe if I have enough money, if I have the right guy, if I have the nice family, if I smile the right smile, if I weigh the right amount of weight, and then I'll get the perfect guy. Or if I smile the right smile, then people will really like me. If I'm interesting enough, then people will watch my channel and they'll want to hear what I have to say, and people will follow me. And it's just perpetuating this disease. And I say dis-ease like that. It's dis-ease. It lacks ease and flow and the enjoyment of life. And some of that's fine, to play a game and want to win a game. That's fine when it's fun. When it's because you just want to do that because you want to prove to yourself that you can win that game. You just want to do it for fun because that's just what you want to do in life and you're enjoying that. That's one thing. But when it gets to this thing where you're constantly cortisol, right? The hormone cortisol, I think it is, that is just running and coursing through your veins constantly because you can't even relax fully. You can't even really laugh heartily. You cannot kick back. You cannot sing a song. You cannot get up and dance. You can't do anything because that might not be cool enough. I might not sound good enough. Oh, if I laugh out loud like that, everybody might stare at me, wonder why I'm laughing, right? And it's this whole thing of, so no. All I got to do is prove myself. I'm interesting. And it's all in survival. It's all about survival. It's about surviving, wanting to have, we all need connection. So wanting this connection with other people and deeply, deeply desiring this connection with other people. And yet the cost, the price that we pay. And I don't know about you, but I mean, we're in this world and most of us don't remember where we came from, why we're here, or where we're going. So we're completely dependent on intuition, maybe dreams, people that have near-death experiences, science, just stuff. And all of that shifts and changes. I always say life is like a kaleidoscope. You look in those beautiful kaleidoscopes when you're little and you look inside of them and you would turn it and everything would move around and the colors and right. And it was so beautiful and neat to look at, right? But nothing formed into anything that was permanent. And that's how life is. Life is like this kaleidoscope, and it's always changing. Science is always changing. They tell you one year that the best thing to eat is veggies, and then you hear something else like, oh, you better not be eating all these veggies, are really bad for you. And then you hear, oh, you need to be eating these, and or you need to have this shot, or you need to not do that shot, or this shot was the best thing for you, oh, now we know it's the worst thing for you, it poisoned you. I mean, nobody knows what to even anchor into to feel like they can survive. So how do we move past? I'd love for this to be a conversation. How do you move past? And I know what a lot of people will say, and I've tried so many of the different things. A lot of people are going to say, oh, you just got to have faith. You got to have faith. You got to anchor down in your belief in God. Oh, let me get the Bible out, start reading you. Well, let me tell you, I've read the Bible front and cover. I've prayed. I've had my born again experience. I've had many, many years of service in church, right? And still so much insecurity coming out, even in the midst of having so much faith. Because even in that, I never felt like I was enough. I've never just felt like I was enough. Not that I've never come to places where I feel high and happy. I've had many, many happy moments, many times of laughing with friends, holding my babies in my arms were the most beautiful moments. I mean, I couldn't have stepped on the moon and been more ecstatic than having a baby put in my arms, my own baby. So, I mean, I've had moments, but it's like that kaleidoscope, they don't stay there. It moves, right? And things can change. And after a while, now you've had this beautiful baby in your arms, but now you have a baby that you've got to take down to the hospital because it's barely alive, like my third baby. And now she has brain damage, and now there's sadness that comes along with that, and deep heartache and insecurity. What's her future going to be like? Where she's an adult now, what kind of life does she have? Is she happy? Can she, all those things, right? And then you're a mother, and am I doing enough? Am I doing enough? Am I enough? Am I being enough? You're a wife, am I? And when you had those moments of falling in love, and everything was beautiful, and you looked into each other's eyes, and you knew that you were in love forever, right? And then you get 10 years down into the marriage, and you're having a horrible fight, and you're thinking about separating and wondering what went wrong, and am I enough? Am I too fat? Why are they mad? What haven't I done enough? The man feels the same way. Where haven't I been enough? Have I not provided enough? Whatever. Some of them, some people just give up and just become like they don't even care. They just give up and just become the worst version of themselves because they're so sick of trying and not feeling like they can never be enough. So I'm just going to be the worst version of myself. At least I feel good when I'm drunk. At least I feel good when I'm high. I feel better than this. So let me do that. It's the disease of not-enoughism. And where's the antidote for this? Where's the antidote for this? Where does this end? Where does this end? And I feel like it has to end with a decision. I think that for me, that this is what I'm concluding in my own life. It's a decision. It's a decision to get on this live and talk about this, and not really caring where it's going or where it's headed or who watches it or who doesn't watch it or who hates it or who likes it, because it's not about this live being enough for anything or anybody. It's about me opening up and saying, hey, let's be real here. I'm seeing this thing, and I see it in so many other people where they don't feel like they're enough. They're not enough for their mom and dad. They're not enough for their wife. They're not enough for their job. They're not enough to get a decent home to live in. They're not enough to be able to take that vacation that so many others can take. They're not enough for, whatever. Not enough. Not enough. Got to do more. What more hoops do I need to jump through in order to have that, a nice car that doesn't break down all the time? What hoops do I need to jump through? And they don't even know because they're not taught. Because we're taught in school, we're dummied down, right? We're not taught how to invest, how to play the money game. We're not taught those things. We're not taught how to have psychology, how to have good conversations, how to communicate. We're not taught those things. No, it's all politicized. It's all politicized. It's all about power grabs. Let's see how we can induct them into this mindset, the slave mentality mindset of jump through the hoops. Keep jumping through the hoops. Look, there's a hot dog here. There's a little bit of gold. Ooh, and pull back a little bit more. Keep jumping. Keep coming. Jump through my hoops. Jump through my hoops. You'll get there eventually. You'll be enough eventually. And you get old, and then you're sitting there with so many regrets. Well, I did this and I did that and I did this and I did that. I did all the things I wanted to do, but I had no relationship with my family. Or I had the best relationship with my family. We have so many good memories, but I never did anything I really wanted to do. Not enough. No matter which way you look at it, which way you turn, there's this disease that sits like a nagging infection, emotional infection. And sometimes we're able to shrug it off and ignore it. And other times we go to bed and we can't even sleep because it's bothering us so deeply. I'm not enough. Haven't been enough. Haven't done enough. Haven't been wise enough. Haven't been frugal enough. Haven't been generous enough. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. Not enough. Something's wrong with me. Not enough. It's a disease. And I think we have to starve it by just deciding, I'm not listening, I'm not feeding that. And how do you not feed that any longer? How do you not feed that any longer? You have to let go of survival mode and fear. You got to let go, and you have to just literally live in the present, and you have to starve it. And when you see it coming up, you don't move on it. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. I better run out and not eat because for a week and go on a fast because I just got on the scale and I'm definitely not enough now. I'm definitely way over my BMI or whatever you call it, right? Not enough. Let me move on that. Throw the damn scale away, right? And I'm not saying, okay, because right now I'm in losing weight, okay? So I'm not saying not trying to, we're always evolving. So maybe we want to feel better, okay? That's different. I want to feel better. I want to have more energy. And I know that if I was lighter, I would feel better. That's not about being enough. That's about how I want to feel, okay? I just want to feel better. A little bit different. Everywhere we turn in this society, there is an advertisement. There is a social media. There is somebody telling us that we are not enough in some way. Every freaking place I turn, something is telling me I'm not enough, whether a magazine title or something that pops up on my phone or some kind of headway on the street is telling me you are not enough. Lose weight, plump your lips, get your thighs smaller, learn to have a better personality, learn to stand out in a crowd, just like all the way around, be more spiritual, learn how to meditate, do this, do that, do this, do that, so that you can be enough, so that you now can be worthy of enoughism, worthy of what? You cannot put a price on life and on a soul. Worthy shouldn't even be a word in our vocabulary about us, whether we're worthy or not, because now we are weighing ourselves like an object, and that, I'm telling you, will feed not-enoughism like nothing else. We are priceless. We are priceless. You cannot put a price on the life force that we have inside of us, that we came into this body. You cannot put a price on that. And I think if there was going to be any regrets in my life, I'm 55 years old on this earth, okay? I think if I had any regrets, if I were to die today, it would be all the time I've sat twiddling my thumbs and couldn't breathe, and anxiety attacks, and anxious and crying and hurt and worried, and all the time I spent in knots, clenching my jaws, ruining my teeth, getting more wrinkles, all of it, worried that I am not enough because somebody said something smart-ass to me, because somebody looked at me the wrong way, because that ad showed me that my lips are too thin and I should be plumping them. Because my hair is not as thick as it used to be. It's been falling out because I wasn't the perfect mother or the perfect wife according to what it is now, today, because it changes every generation, right? All those things change. Life as a kaleidoscope. It's always changing. So you can never quite get there, because as soon as you get to that perfection that you're supposed to be, bam, it changes. The perfection is being really skinny. Now, bam, now the perfection is having a big butt and a big boobs and big lips and big everything, right? It changes. It changes. And what are we doing it for? What are we doing it for? For survival. Because we have this innate part of us that believes that we'll be annihilated. We need our family system. We need each other. Like we know as a baby when we come into this world, we are not going to survive unless we have adults that help care for us. We can't just survive. There's no way we're going to survive. We need something or someone to intervene for our survival. And so when this world around us starts telling us you're not enough, we take that seriously. We take that to heart, because that was our survival. But yet, when we go to take care of a baby, we never think to that baby, oh, we're only going to take care of you if you're enough. If you're not enough, we're not going to feed you. That's considered abuse. And yet we abuse ourselves in the same way. We abuse our citizens in the same way. And the people around us, when we tell them, oh, unless you jump through our hoops and show that you're enough to us, too bad for you. Oh, you're enough for us because you get on a stage and you entertain us. So billions of dollars, have whatever you want. But you're not enough for us because you don't even have an education. You're not enough. Go make something out of your life. Impress us. Impress who? Who the fuck are we supposed to be impressing anyways? Seriously. Literally, we have to revamp our entire mindset, our entire way of how we look at life and people. And I don't know. Nobody may ever hear this, but I'm going to say it anyways on my live. This is the first thing I've done on my YouTube channel for a couple months. And I just want to talk about this not-enoughism, and I'm just dumping out what's been in my heart about all this and in my mind about all this. I'm so tired of feeling. I am so tired of that feeling. Like no matter what I do, and like I said, I work on my energy constantly. I even have my cauldron, my daily cauldron, my journal that every day you mix up your magical day, and it helps you to, it's specifically designed for people who have never really put themselves at the center of their lives. They've always been giving. And usually that stems from very dysfunctional family beginnings, which most people have anymore. Few are the children that can say, I had a completely happy childhood. So, I work on my energy all the time, but yet I still see this. Something goes haywire, and I'm thinking, and instead of it just being, okay, this is going wrong in my life, right? This is going, or this isn't something, or this is a threat to what I have right now, okay? Instead of it just being a threat and let's see what we could do about it, now it's about my worth. Now it's about, oh, you didn't do enough. You aren't enough. You don't have enough. You don't jump through the same hoops as everybody else. So you're not going to have what everybody else has. You need to jump through their hoops. You need to get in the box. And just always looking in the mirror and, what do you see when you look in the mirror? I've done so much better in this. I've done a lot of mirror work, but, you look in the mirror and you stay there for any amount of time and, you're like looking at your flaws. Or you get ready to get in the shower and you look at your body and think, oh my God, or you go to get new clothes and, I need to lose weight. You have these clothes that are designed for bodies that are enough. And your body is not enough. That's why clothes don't fit. It's not because bad designers, it's because you're not enough. Go take care of your body and you'll be enough and you'll fit in our clothes. I say that because I learned that actually in women's history, that women didn't really have as much of an issue about the size of their body until they started manufacturing clothes and they started labeling small, medium, and large. And then, you know, of course, there was extra large. And they had to be specially bought. And so now they were like, oh, well, the thing to be is small. But medium, okay. But large, and extra large, oh, how shameful. God forbid. I'm not enough. It's insanity. It's insanity, people. It is complete insanity. And I'm done with it. I don't know about you, but I am so done with it. You know, I'm just ready to be enough. Not even that. I'm just ready to be done with the word enough when it comes to myself, or worthy. I'm done with that word and applying that to my life force, who I am as a person, worthy or unworthy, deserving or undeserving, enough or not enough. I'm done with those words. They're not even applicable. They're not even applicable to me, to you, to somebody who is priceless. They're not even applicable. Any of you that have had a baby, your own child, or a sister or somebody that's had a baby that you've held in your arms, tell me, would you apply that? Are you deserving or undeserving, worthy or unworthy, enough or not enough? You wouldn't even think about it at that stage. And yet we get to this stage and that's all we do, is try to figure out whether we are enough or not enough. And I'm sick of it, you guys. I am so sick of that narrative. It's time to shift that narrative. It's time to remove those words from our vocabulary when it comes to humanity, to your life force, to who you are. Every soul is precious. No doubt there are people out there, souls, people that have, for whatever reason, psychopathed out. Born that way, not born that way. No doubt that needs to be dealt with. But you can still remove the worthy, the unworthy, the deserving, the undeserving, the enough, the not enough, and just deal with what is. This is dangerous. How do we deal with it? Right? So even in those cases, those are still lives and souls. And I know this could be a conversation that could carry on. I could probably do a whole YouTube channel on this very conversation, on just removing the vocabulary of enough and not enough. When it comes, like, it's completely non-applicable to the human spirit, to you as a person. Doesn't mean I never challenge myself. If I want to challenge myself and I'm going to have fun at it and I'm going to enjoy it, so be it. But if it comes to a place where that challenge, whether I achieve it or don't achieve it, is I'm holding some kind of worth around it, worth, deserving, enough or not enough, then it's toxic. Then it's feeding this toxic narrative, this toxic disease of not-enoughism. It's a sick disease, people. It's a sick disease. I think it's the worst disease that humanity is dealing with in this world. It's the worst disease out there, in my humble opinion. Love to hear your comments on this. Love to hear how you feel about it. Love to hear if you're struggling with worthiness or not being enough or deserving or undeserving, you know. Okay, I think that's all for now. Now if I can figure out how to stop the video.